All right. Well, in case you hadn't already surmised, the theme of today's episode is dystopia. Now that we live there, you're probably wondering, what are we going to eat? There's no food. There's no water. Well, the answers, according to some pundits, is bugs. So my question to you is this. Is eating bugs, as it's now being presented, a fun new trend that will catch on of its own volition? Or is this manufactured consent designed to prime us for the fact that, like it or not, we're all going to be eating cockroaches soon?
I think you need to give us some context.
That's a complex binary.
Okay. All right, let me dumb it down. All right, let me dumb it down. Okay, all right. So articles are starting to come out saying, I think it's time to start eating bugs. Eat bugs to save the planet. If you're eco-conscious, you're going to chomp down on some fucking grasshoppers. So, eating bugs, is this something that's going to catch on because it's cool and hip? Or are they just trying to prime us for the fact that, all right, chumps, enjoy your steak while you can, because within the next couple of years, you'll all be eating bugs for dinner?
I don't think it's going to be the next couple of years based on being a vegan 15 or 20 years ago now and how long it took for people to be willing to buy a Beyond Burger, which my position has completely reversed on in the last, several years. But I don't know that we have to worry about tomorrow being able to buy grasshoppers at Publix.
A couple of years ago, they put grasshoppers in the Seattle Mariners baseball stadium, and they went crazy. People loved eating them, just like the salted grasshoppers. It was mostly a joke, haha, we're doing this, but they were tasty. So as somebody that's ate bugs before, I get the, it's not that gross to do it once you're actually doing it, but there's no fucking way we're getting a bunch of people to eat bugs. If you're going to grind them up and turn them into something else, maybe. I think we're going to have lab-grown meat before that.
Eric, I think that, I thought of you when I was thinking about this earlier today. I was thinking of Baudrillard, and I was thinking of Simulacra and Simulacrum. Anyway. And I was just thinking about... Okay. No, I'm going to make it... But, I was just thinking about... So, here's why I would just have, bad, vibes from it, okay? Because, I think that the way that it's being propositioned, I watched a video on the New York Times, and I'll go over some of the points, but basically they were saying a growing number of chefs, researchers, and entrepreneurs, and they always have our best interests at heart, right? Are working toward a common goal, getting us to eat more bugs. Here's my concern about this. Here's what I think is coming. I think that they're eventually going to have the bug lobby, okay? And they're going to be going to Congress, and they're going to be look, we've got bugs for sale, all right? We need bugs in bellies. And I think what's going to happen is, and I don't know if you guys think I'm going too far off or if I'm going to hit the nail on the head. I think that we're going to see crushed up bug powder, formed into chicken nuggets, and that's going to be the new meat for kids in inner city schools. They're gonna get a contract for public schools, and then the poorest kids in the country are gonna be they're the ones that have to eat the bugs. And I was thinking of the object no longer resembles itself. It is now a pure simulacra, and the kids are gonna get it's gonna say bug chicken sandwich, and it's just bugs in the shape of a chicken sandwich, and that's what we're gonna start feeding to poor kids. This is why I get bad vibes from this.
So I actually agree with you on that. I just also think that might be the most nutritious meal that we've served in a public school in America in a long time.
At least they won't be riddled with hormones. Yeah. I don't know, man. I honestly, I'm super down for the eating bug revolution. I have zero qualms with it. I watched the same video, and watching that chef put fucking grasshoppers on a taco, I was like, damn, I am fucking hungry, man. I was ready. I am ready, So I don't know. I see your fear. The fear you're describing, where they grind up grasshoppers, they already grind up chicken bones and intestine and shit like that. I'm not really that much worried about it being a less emotionally intelligent animal that we're grinding up into paste now to feed people. That actually doesn't bother me, other than ew, a cockroach, I wouldn't eat the fucking cockroach on the floor because I know it's been walking.
I just think we're gonna have lab-grown meat before this, and it's going to be a moot point. But I actually am curious, Eric, you're a vegan.
I'm not anymore. I am no longer. I was for many, many, many years. For more than a decade.
Obviously, you couldn't eat bugs as a vegan, but they might. I don't know.
I'm a vegetarian. I have no issues eating bugs. Just saying, straight up.
Hypocrite.
I don't speak for anyone else. I'm just saying, I have no fucking problem. Like, there's like a threshold of sentience or like assumed emotional capability that I'm like, the bugs fall beneath it.
After
I don't
my
care.
octopus teacher, like I can't use that like sort of like sliding sentience like argument anymore because I'm just like, we don't fucking know. We have no idea.
You
We
need
have
a
no
my
idea.
cockroach teacher.
I mean, maybe.
Franz Kafka would like to have a word with you, Shay. Okay.
She saw the fly once and she's like, I'm not doing that.
I'm just not sure if it's like a distraction from our disordered food production economy and artificial, which is like an artificial sort of economy that keeps us from dealing with some of the fundamental problems in our like food production and food supply. Or if it is like a really thoughtful outside of the box like compromise or solution. I'm kind of on the fence about it. I feel like anytime we like the whole Beyond Meat thing, I struggle with because like when I was a vegan, a big part of my argument was at the time I was working in animal welfare, and so I was trying to convince people to stop killing dogs and cats, but was going and eating chickens and cows and fish and whatever else, and that felt really inconsistent. Yeah. However, the alternatives, when you remove meat from the diet, mean that you no longer have regenerative agriculture because animals are like a part of that. Like the whole model of food production like has to shift. And honestly, eating nothing but plants, you can eat very, very small amounts of animal products, I think, and have like well-rounded nutrition. But the kinds of plants that we eat in our monoculture, in our like hugely mechanized monoculture, are not actually healthy, right? Like all of the grains and legumes and carbs, and like that's why it's such a high percentage of people are pre-diabetic in the United States, because like all of these processed foods are like hinging on these like sugar, rich ingredients. And so, I think that like the bug argument makes the bug as like a nutritional staple is compelling. But I feel like it also takes away from the conversation about how we maybe need to address food production on a larger scale.
So, I mean, to kind of take your point and like Shay's point about like, oh, you're already eating like ground up chicken bones. Like the thing that like makes me suspicious is that like this framing of it is like, it's a rational consumer choice. And like, I can already see the culture war coming. Like there's already like the meat eating conservative trend, like, with a fork and knife in front of a big steak, like, try and take it from me, lib shits. So it's just like, I'm like picturing like, go fuck yourself and eat your bugs, fucking nerds. But when I was reading the article, it's like, the way they frame this is like the fault of like the middle class. I was like, all right, shut the fuck up. So let me just like read this. Let me read this to you. And like, let me just kind of give you my 2 cents. And then I want to hear yours. It's like, this is from the video. Here's the problem. And that's how they frame it. Here's the problem. And then the next word is a growing middle class. And I'm like, shut the fuck up. So here's the problem. A growing middle class around the world is driving up the demand for meat, milk, and eggs. And that will mean more livestock farming, leading to more deforestation and other environmental harm, and an increase in greenhouse gas emissions. Quote one of the featured entrepreneurs, not the scientists, not the bug farmers. The paradox today is that our population is growing, both in population and in appetite. Like every fucking baby that's coming out is going, Mom, give me steak. At the same time, it is shrinking in critical resources required to grow food. And unless this paradox is resolved, we are heading on a very concerning collision course. And I feel like the thing that like drove me crazy is like, I don't think the problem, it's not that it's like agriculture per se, but like they frame it as like this maintenance of the status quo. Like instead of like resourcing the way that we like house people and like, like build fucking suburbs and like a castle unto each individual person, it's like the only way to continue to like fucking do suburban sprawl and just like completely like overtake far more than we need is to grind up bugs and eat them. And it's all your fault because we have a growing middle class. So fuck you, eat your bugs. And like, that's the thing that drove me crazy. Like, what are you guys, where do you stand on that?
I mean, now you're just doing a critical critique of a capitalist media source that's trying to sell you something when the problem is real.
They're just trying to analyze me, Craig.
They're just
Answer the bug question.
We should be eating bugs. It's obvious. It's a great source of protein, nutrition. I'm just not going to fucking do it. I'm not going to start. Look, I'd rather ride this fucking planet. I don't know. Give me a Beyond Burger. I like those. But I go to Starbucks and I order that impossible breakfast sandwich sometimes if I'm feeling a little naughty. And it's kind of nice. I'm just not eating a fucking bug.
Ian, it's a cultural thing. People in some cultures eating bugs is like revered. It's a delicacy. Like we think it's gross.
Name them.
I don't fucking know. But we think it's gross, but like who fucking cares? Like you'll get over it. You'll get over it quick, and then all of a sudden you'll have yummy, tasty, little salted crickets, and you'll be like, ha, this is delicious. And then no one will fucking care. No one will fucking care.
Okay, Craig and Shay, shut the fuck up. Eric, before we go, we have time for one more opinion. What is yours? You're gonna take us out of here today.
Oh man, so this is the yes or no. Bugs or no bugs? Bugs are going to save the world or not save the world?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
I'm fucking fine with it.
All right, well, you heard it here first, folks. She's fucking fine with it. Thank you for joining us on today's episode of Camp Re-Education, and we'll see you next time.